let's talk about the NFC North. So the NFC North last year was won by the Green Bay Packers. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers went on his revenge tour. He's probably going to go on another revenge tour this year. And then somehow the Chicago Bears got into the playoffs again, going 8-8, 7-9 for the Minnesota Vikings, and 5-11 last year for the Detroit Lions. Ben, what do you make of the landscape of this division? Because we all know the Packers are the class of this division, but outside of them, like these other three teams, these could be some interesting teams just to find out who makes second place in this division.
I saw your 7-8-2 for Minnesota, and
oh yeah, I got a whole
when
thing
I
on
tell
that.
you when I tell you that the same thought crossed my mind that Minnesota was going to have one tie, I was thinking about putting down the 7-8 and
And two.
7-8-2 for them also. But I wound up coming down on 6-10 after some reshuffling of the deck. Look, Chicago. This is probably it for Matt Nagy. Zimmer also in Minnesota. I'm a little worried about him. But I think he might just kind of be in like a staring contest with Kirk Cousins to see if he can outlast Kirk Cousins in Minnesota because they hate each other, those two.
I don't know. The team really hates Kirk Cousins too.
I don't know if Zimmer. I don't know if Kirk Cousins hates Zimmer. I think Mike Zimmer would kill Kirk Cousins if he was told he could get away with it. Yeah. I think the Lions are going to do better than people think. I'm just throwing that out there. I think everybody's very low on Dan Campbell because this is the 21st century and people are afraid of masculinity these days, and that's just a horrible thing. But look, they got Jared Goff in there. And again, same thing as I was saying with the Jets. I think the guys are just going to like playing for Dan Campbell, and that just little intangible bump is going to get them to like a respectable 7-9, where they can look at next year and go, you know what, maybe we're building something. Mm-hmm. It's Detroit, chill out. It's Detroit. You're not building anything. It's not you gotta ease off the gas on that one. It's not really going anywhere, but. I think everybody's pretty much sold that the Packers are kind of going to be going scorched earth in Aaron Rodgers last year. I would not be surprised to see them at least give the Bucs a run for coming out of the NFC this year. But yeah,
I mean, that's been their MO. They get to the NFC Championship game, but can they get past it? Aaron Rodgers hasn't done that since he won the Super Bowl back in 2010. So, I mean, I think the Packers are my pick to come out of the NFC, and we'll get into that I think in a little bit. But for this division, Packers are the class. Don't have to explain it. You outlined that perfectly. I think this is going to be Matt Nagy's last year. I think this is going to be everyone's last year. I think there's actually going to be two regime changes that could happen in two teams in this division. I think Minnesota, if they have a bad year and if Kirk Cousins does the same thing, I think Mike Zimmer's out. I think the GM's out. I think they clean house completely and start over because they did not pay Kirk Cousins the only two fully guaranteed contracts in NFL history to go 7-8 and one playoff win in 5 years. That's not what they paid him for. But I have the Minnesota Vikings going 7-8-2, and the reason I have them going 7-8-2 is because it's the Minnesota Vikings. I need no other reason. There's an extra added game. They're probably gonna tie that too. And lo and behold, I was consistent. I kept them ties in the division. Because if there's any division that's going to have some ties, it's probably going to be this one. And I got the Lions. I agree with you. I think Jared Goff's another guy who gets a lot of flack.
Jared
Goff.
You say it like Troy Aikman.
Jared Goff is the guy who gets
Jeredgolf. Jared Goff.
There were a lot of letters in there. All right, yeah. But Jared Goff is a guy who's gonna surprise a lot of people, I think. And I'm not saying he's gonna like go on MVP campaign. Like no, they're gonna go 8-8. He's gonna be good. He's going to be good. It also has something to do with the fact that they probably got the best left tackle that we've seen come out of the draft in the past few years in Penei Sewell. Like you can ship back that later.
I was gonna say I think they're trying to move him from left tackle and it's not going too well.
He'll be fine. He can't not work. I promise you. Anyway, but I think he's gonna have the protection. he's gonna be out to prove some people wrong too. He's gonna be decent. I'm not saying he's gonna throw for 40 touchdowns. I could see him going 28 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. That is a solid year. That is exactly what I would expect from Jared Goff. Remind you, I know Sean McVay did a lot of the play calling, did a lot of the work in the pre-snap analysis for him back in the day, like 2 years ago in Los Angeles last year. Yeah, but the one thing that people need to remember is this is still a guy. He went out there and executed. He when push comes to shove, he can go out there and execute, and it's not always gonna be pretty. It's not always gonna be great, but that's not what Jared Goff is. And I'm kind of sick of people looking at Jared Goff like he's a bust, because he's not a bust. You want to know what a bust looks like? Jamarcus Russell was a bust. We'll watch that man play. You want to know what a bust? Achilles Smith was a bust. There are a lot of people in NFL history who you can label bust, but Blake Bortles is definitely a bigger bust if we're talking about that than Jared Goff. So I'm sick of that stuff. I'm sick of all the talking heads being like, well, Jared Goff should have been out of here years ago. The only reason Jared Goff got out of the Rams was because this offer for Matt Stafford came forward. And look, this might be a hot take. Matt Stafford, in my eyes, is he an improvement on Jared Goff? Yes. Is he like a game-changing like improvement for them? I don't think so. I think he's going to be better. He's probably going to execute a lot of things better. But is he the difference for that team to get to the Super Bowl? I don't think so. I don't think he is that guy. And if you ask me, honestly, all the picks that they gave up to get him and trading away Jared Goff, I think that's probably going to end up hurting them in the long run. But we'll see. But I just love how I went along with Jared. I'm the only one who's ever going to go on this Jared Goff rant.
Look, I'm right there with you. I'm a Jared Goff guy through and through. I think he's a fine quarterback. He's really approaching that, like, you remember how there used to be the Phillip Rivers line where it's like, would you rather have your quarterback or Phillip Rivers? And then it's like, if you would rather have Phillip Rivers than your quarterback, then it's time to find a new quarterback. I think Jared Goff is approaching. He's like the new guy for that, because it was Rivers for a little bit, then he got better, then it was Andy Dalton. It used to be the Andy Dalton line, and now Andy Dalton's below the Andy Dalton line, and I think it's now going to be the Jared Goff line. Would you rather have your quarterback or Jared Goff?
Thanks for watching this video from Real Take Sports Talk. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Also, remember to check out our live show every single Thursday at 8 p.m. right here on the YouTube channel. And remember, keep it real.